Page 8, a deep canyon. In this lesson, we have a situation where we have two measures in a row that are both pedaled. But I'll talk about that when I get to the pedaling. I want to go through my process for learning a new piece of music, and pedaling is done pretty much last. I'll look it over. I see it's a page long. Actually, it's a little longer than a page because there's a DC Alfini at the bottom. That's all right. We only have a page to learn. That's what's treble and bass clef. No sharps or flats in the key signature. When the key is C major, make sure you go do my C major scale video. One octave up and down is good enough. It's the trill exercise that's important there. Go take care of that. 4/4 time signature. We got quarter notes and eighth notes, half notes, whole notes. We've had all those before. Right hand first. Let's make sure we have the rhythm and fingering and all that. You're starting with third finger on E. Here. And it's 1 and 2 and 3 and. Here. And the last measure, the first line, C and E together. Then the second line is almost the same. Go down to the third line. We're here. And then for the third measure, they want fourth finger again. It's possible you can do that because of the articulation, but I like to finger everything connected if I can. I want a fingering that works that way. So in that third measure, rather than fourth, since I'm in this position, I'm going to use 2. There's 2 Ds there. I can change on the repeated notes. So I'm going to do 2 and then 4. So the second measure, the third line is the whole note, and then going on is 2, 4. And then for the last line, I'm just going to reach up, 5th finger, and then 4. See, I want to be in this position, but I'm in this position. I want to be here. I'm here. I want to be here. Okay. To get there, and I want to connect it, I'm going to reach up with a little finger first, and then use those 2 Fs to change position, and 4. Now I'm here. So I just kind of went from here to here to here. So it's, yeah. The natural sign in the last measure there is not needed. It's an F natural anyway. They put it in to be clear because you had an F sharp in the measure before. Remember the rule for accidentals? It's only good for that measure in that step. So that F sharp doesn't apply in the last measure, but they're being clear. Make sure you play an F natural. Okay. Left hand, a C and a G to begin, so we're here. Same rhythm as the right hand, different notes. And then for the third measure, just bring the thumb up here and here. We're just coming up a little bit. Here, I'm actually staying here. I'm just reaching up. I'm spreading out a little bit. Because then I have a G. And then the next measure, I do a 3-1. Because I can get all those notes in one hand position. I don't want to move around anymore, and I have to. So it's here, 3-1, and then the C. And you should know that last note in that first line is a C. 2 ledger lines below bass clef, memorize it. It's a C. And then you lift up and come back up and do it again. Now you're ending the second line here, and then for the third line you come back, but you got to come up here. You're one further up. And then here, and then just an F. So we do have to move around in the left hand some. The last 2 measures at the bottom, you can do, I suggest a 5-3 here. That way you're in position for the last measure, which is 2-1. I don't have to move around. So put the hands together carefully. I just want to know which fingers are going down together. How they're feeling, because it feels weird at first. And then here. And then here. And here. Okay. You go through and put the hands together. And then go back through it a few hundred times or whatever and get rid of any hesitations anywhere. Keep it slow is fine. But no hesitations, a steady beat throughout the whole thing. Then we'll think about the articulation. And here it's the slurs in the lift up. And on the whole notes, go ahead and connect them. Here, and then lift up. So we're going to pretend like there's a slur over those 2 whole notes. At the end of the first line and the second line, yeah, just connect them. You don't have to. You could disconnect them. Because there's nothing written. If there's nothing written, it's your choice what you want to do. I'm just suggesting you connect them. and lift up. Third line here, lift up. See, this is how you can get away with the fingering in the book. You lift up for the slur anyway, or the phrase. You can move. I'm suggesting though just 2. And then here, lift up. In the left hand, do the best you can to connect it all. You can't because you're moving around, but do what you can. Then we have the dynamics. MF at the beginning, mezzo forte is moderately loud, and that applies to the melody. The melody in this piece is in the right hand. So the right hand is sort of loud. Whatever you think sort of loud, not loud, just sort of loud, huh? The left hand needs to be in the background. They're background singers. So I've got some weight in the right hand, and I'm light in the left hand. You know, it feels weird, but it's important you get this. This sort of thing of being heavy in one hand and light in the other, you can practice when you're doing the scale. Just play one hand and take turns as to which hand is heavy. It's important you develop that feel. Now, they don't give you any other dynamic for it. It's all about there. However, once you get into it and start feeling it, if you want to get a little louder or softer in places, go for it. But you can adjust. Now, the speed is moderato, which is not fast or slow. It's just I don't know, in the middle. It's up to you. Depends on how much coffee or wine I've had to drink as to how fast this is going to go. It's just somewhere not fast or slow, just in the middle. Now, let's talk about this pedal thing you've been so patiently waiting on. I need to talk a few things here. It's a little confusing the way the book has done it, and I'm just going to confuse it more, so hang in there. Here we go. As typical, what we do most of the time on the pedal is I push the notes down first and then the pedal. I want to start the sound before I release the overtones, and it's done immediately. It's just right after I push it. Here. Now, according to their pedal instructions here, I'm going to lift the pedal up. I'm going to connect the right hand. I have to lift the left hand up. So I'm going to lift the pedal up with the left hand. So there's a little silence there. Here. Here. Like so. That's what's notated. They'll get to the other kind of notation a little later. And that's where you do what's known as a change pedal. That's where the pedal is down and you simply lift it up and put it right back down. Now, it's not a quick motion or nothing. You got plenty of time just up and down as they're comfortable. We call that changing the pedal. That gives us sound. So I could do that here and I could connect that here. And we'll play the notes first and then change the pedal. See, it connects it. And that's overlapping pedal, where the pedal overlaps what the hands are doing, but only for an instant, not very long. We can tolerate an instant, but it gets blurry if you wait too long. See, that's too much. You got to do it immediately after you play the notes. You pedal up and down. You can try both of those kinds of pedaling here. Practice. You need them both to try that. But that's what we're doing in the first 2 lines. Now, in the third line, it's just the one measure. So you push the notes down first and then the pedal. Lift up. So there's a little silence now for the phrase. Same thing at the end of the line. Lift up. That's the way that's working. At the end, you get down to the bottom here. And you got the D, C, All Phoenix sends you back to the top. Well, lift up again the pedal so there's a little silence. Right there. I don't like that, but that's what they're suggesting, so we'll go with that. And that's the pedal. using pedal, use it for reasons or don't use it. Know why you're doing. Just don't, oh, I'm using pedal because the music said so. No. Understand what it's about or leave it out. Here, all we're doing is adding overtones to the longer held notes. And that's a lot of time in piano. We do that. If a note's going to be held out for a while, well, we'll add pedal to add overtones. It tends to flavor it a little, color it a little. Otherwise, it's kind of boring. It sits there and dies away. And that's really what they're doing here on the whole notes. But we're coloring those. It also helps to connect the notes we can't connect with the hands, because in the left hand you have this. Now I can't connect all of that. And the pedal helps with that too. So it's kind of doing two things here on those. Now remember the DC al fine and how that works. The DC means go back to the beginning. Al fine means go to fine, and the fine is in the second line. You'll also notice at the end of the second line, it's a thin and thick bar line there. Remember, that's the symbol for the end of a piece. That means the piece is going to end there eventually. Let's play this together slowly to check the notes and the rhythms. I'm going to play both hands about the same. I'm not going to bring out the melody or anything, we're just checking notes and rhythms. So I'll give us 4 counts, but we will do the DC al fine. And I will do the pedaling like I suggested. 1, 2, ready, go.